Hello, welcome to Craven Park in Barrow. A glorious afternoon here for Betfred Championship Round 19 action. Featherstone on the road taking on Barrow Raiders with a chance to go 10 points clear at the top of the championship with victory. We were just less than an hour away from all the action and we've caught up with Sean Long for all the team news. Sean Long, tough game expected today against Barrow. Could you just take us through the team changes? I believe 3 changes from the side that beat Swinton last week.
Yeah, a few lads have got niggling injuries. Mackenzie's knees swollen up, and we thought we'd give Chiz a run coming into the side. And JD's fit again, so he comes back into the team. So we're expecting a real tough game, a real physical battle against Barrow. You know, I've watched the last couple of games, and they really hung in there to the last minute and give teams a good crack. So it's a tough place to come. We're expecting a tough outing here, but it's all about kind of us how we start the game.
Talk about Dane Chisholm there coming back into the side, first appearance since coming back to the club. But what have you seen from him in the last few weeks? He's been around the place, and what are you expecting from him this afternoon?
Yeah, I just hope he gets his defensive on. He talks really good, he kicks the ball really well, and I hope he's a run threat. So we're all part of that. Our defensive system, but he hope he takes the line on.
He talked about it being a tough place to come, Barrow. What in particular are you expecting them to do well? What do they do well, and where do you expect to be challenged?
Yeah, I think up the middle they come. They run tight channel sets. I think they've got a bit of an offload game with Langtree and Stack in the back row. I think they're quite strong there. And then, they've got a few lads out on from loan from Wigan, Eckersley, and a couple of young forwards. So, they're keen, and I think they bring loads of energy.
And just lastly, a win today with results going your way. I mean, you go 10 points clear at the top of the championship. Is that something you ever consider, or is it very much just a week-to-week proposition?
No, it's just week to week for me, mate. So it's coming here, get the job done, and then sing the song and go home.
Hello, good afternoon and a warm welcome to Craven Park in Barrow. We're here to bring you live commentary of Betfred Championship Round 19 action between Barrow Raiders and Featherstone Rovers. We're just a few minutes away from kick-off here. Featherstone with a win will go 10 points clear at the top of the championship. The teams are almost ready to come out. We've got the team news in. We'll start with Featherstone, who make 3 changes to the side, who beat Swinton last time out, with Logan Astley, Thomas Lacans and Mackenzie Yeh all dropping out of the side. With Dane Chisholm comes back into the lineup for the first time since rejoining the club in his second spell. He starts in the halves, with John Davies and Matthew Cozza coming onto the bench. So Rovers line up like this. Mark Corrala is the fullback. The three-quarter line of Luke Briscoe, Craig Hall, Chris Hankinson and Gareth Gale. Caleb Aitken's partners Dane Chisholm in the halves. Up front for Rovers, Gadwin Springer, Matty Wildy, James Lockwood, who captains the side, with Elijah Taylor, Arama Howe and Daniel Smith rounding off the starting side. On the bench for Sean Long's side, Connor Jones, Craig Kotchak, John Davies and Matthew Cozza. Barrow, they make just one change to the side that were beaten on the road at Sheffield last time out, with Charlie Emsley making way for the Jared Stack in the second row. So Paul Crowley's side line up like this. Luke Broadbent is the fullback, with three-quarter line of Ryan Shaw, Zach Eckersley, Shane Toll and Andrew Bullman. Ellis Archer partners Ryan Johnston in the halves, with Ben Evans, Josh Wood, Harvey Mackin up front. The Danny Langtree, Jared Stack and Tom Wilkinson round up the starting side for Barrow. On the bench for the Raiders, Connor Saunders, Luke Creswell, Cavan Rothwell and Greg Burke. Where Rovers come into this one looking for their 5th consecutive win, and having beaten Barrow on their own patch, 64 points to 6 earlier in the season. Sean Long, we spoke to him just before the game, expecting a tough battle nonetheless, particularly through the middle channel with Barrow's big packet. It's something that'll have to be on their mettle and contain if they're going to get over the top of Barrow here this afternoon. But Rovers do boast an imposing record against Barrow in recent years, winning 18 of their last 19 clashes, and they'll be looking to make it 19 of 20 this afternoon. It's a warm but windy afternoon in Barrow, but ideal conditions for some fast-flowing rugby league. Certainly seen some enterprising play from Sean Long's side this season. Featherstone looking to spread the ball and playing with plenty of finesse. And we're just, as I say, we're just waiting for the two sides to come out. We'll have all of the live, uninterrupted commentary on FRTV. 3 o'clock kickoff. And with results going Featherstone's way, arguably, Toulouse getting the better of Batley yesterday means Featherstone will open up a 10-point lead at the top of the championship if they win this afternoon. Of course, to the players, to the coach, that doesn't mean very much at this point. It's very much a week-to-week prospect, focusing on themselves and making sure they're peaking at the right time heading into the playoffs, but certainly a commanding position to be on the table as Rovers make the charge and push their case for promotion. As the teams are just about ready to come out onto the field here. Barrow in their traditional navy blue and white shirt. Featherstone in their changed red and blue strip. As they come out onto the sunny field at Craven Park this afternoon. A decent following, vocal following from Rovers fans beneath us and at the far end to our left. Have made the long journey up to Cumbria to see the side in action. As I said, Featherstone looking for their 5th win in a row, just lost once in the league all season. And they'll be looking to make a fast and energetic start here. Barrow will be looking to atone for being humiliated at Post Office Road earlier this season, conceding 64 points to Rovers. And they'll have revenge on the mind as we get ready to get this game underway. A couple of ex-Barrow players in the Rovers lineup, of course, Chris Hankinson, Matty Kozza having spells at the Raiders. As we get the game underway here, it's a looping kickoff taken brilliantly by Arama Howe, so immediately field position in favour of Rovers. The short kickoff getting caught in the wind. There is a strong wind coming down the ground as from right to left behind Rovers in this first half. They'll be looking to impose a strong kicking game here as they're already almost up and over the halfway line in the arms of Springer now, who's dumped on his back there, in a strong trio of Barrow defenders. Josh Wood, primary tackler under there. As they come forward, Aikens gives it to Howe now, his second touch in the first set here. Plays it for Wildy to Lockwood, centre field. Out to Chisholm, first touch for him. Immediately gets it onto Kerala, a little bit of space. Kerala almost into the backfield and brought to ground there in the end by a desperate Barrow tackle. Chisholm now. The kick comes off the outside of the boot. That'll be taken by Broadbent. Not the best and most challenging kick there from the Featherstone half, and a cheap turnover there for Barrow. Slow play of the ball. In fact, he's just going to have to go back and play that one again. The game restarts. And Featherstone looking to attack with their defence here. They've got Barrow right where they want them, inside their own 10. As Eckersley waits, dummy half. It's Wood, I beg your pardon, gives it on to Langtree now, and Langtree trying to wrestle his way up to that 20-metre line. Rovers doing a good job of snuffing out the Barrow go forward so far. Macon gets a carry, just shy of the 30-metre line. Gets them going forward again now. A good tackle first up through the middle of the field from Daniel Smith. Wood waits at acting half. That'll be the last one for Barrow. As the kick comes out here, Archer gets it along the deck, and it takes one bounce and goes into touch on the 30-metre line. So you can see already how strong that wind is. Barrow kicking into the face of it, and haven't got a great deal of distance in either of their kicks so far, the kickoff and the field kicking. Taking a notable turn in the wind, very much playing into Featherstone's hands, and they will have the turnover centre field, 30 metres from their own line. 3 minutes gone in this game. Barrow 0, Featherstone 0. As Gale now takes his first carry of the game. Featherstone's leading try scorer so far this season with 20. We'll be looking to add to that tally this afternoon as they come forward through Hankinson. Hankinson had a spell at Barrow throughout his career. Comes back onto his old stomping grounds this afternoon. Kerala gives it on to Aikens, gives it to Lockwood, who bounces away from the tackle of Evans, but Wilkinson comes in to finish him off. Up to the halfway line and over it. Smith gives the ball out to Chisholm, double pumps, gives it to Hall. Hall is wrapped up in the end there. A good tackle on that left edge from Archer. Toll in there to help out. Quick play the ball though. Wildy scampers out dummy half, gives it to Taylor. Taylor out wide to Briscoe, cuts off his right foot. Little bit of room for Luke Briscoe. Featherstone looking good in this set. Already 5 metres away from the Barrow line here. Looking to post first points. Couple of tackles still to come. In fact, it's the last. What can they produce here on the last tackle? Long looping pass over the top, Chisholm. Howe comes off his left foot, cuts back through the middle of the field, bumps away from Wood, finds the offload, untidy one, taken 2 bounces by Chisholm. This is a bit frantic. Kerala knocks the ball on. And all a little bit untidy on the last play for Featherstone there, trying to keep the ball alive. But it has to be said, Barrow's defence was up quickly, nobody was panicking, and they shut down the danger, and that'll be the turnover. No change to the score here. Barrow Raiders 0, Featherstone Rovers 0. But Barrow once again starting from deep inside their own territory is Wood. They come forward again up to just shy of the 30 inside their own half. Wood again on quickly. And up to that 40-metre line now. Barrow wrestling for every bit of territory. It was Stack, the ball carrier. So they come forward now through Makin. Makin is wrapped up in a good tackle from Wildy. Lockwood in down low as well. Barrow just their own side of halfway. Evans looking to get over that halfway line, but a trio of jerseys around him. But he wrestles his way a metre into Featherstone territory for the first time this afternoon. Barrow fans around us not happy with the attention he was getting there. As Wilkinson, no nonsense carry up to the 40. So Barrow will play the ball here 40 metres from the Featherstone line. This will be the last one. Archer dabs it along the line this time, takes a bounce, wrong foots Briscoe, does well in the end, pouches it safely and beats a tackle, and Luke Briscoe's into the backfield here. He's got one man to beat. He tries to step around the fullback Broadbent, who did well, and the Barrow defence regroups. Wood and Wilkinson in there to help out. What a kick return from Luke Briscoe. Featherstone already on the attack here as Gale finds the offload for Akins, gives it to Howe. Early ball here to Hankinson. Hankinson off the left foot. Tries to stand up Johnston, but goes to ground. That comes out again through Lockwood. Lockwood is bundled to the ground there. 30 metres from the line. Smith gives it to Chisholm. Chisholm out the back here. Quick hands from Kerala. Briscoe started this play into a little bit of space. Bumps off one. Can't get away from the attention of 2 more defenders as Langtree comes in to help out. But he's penalised there for the attention on Luke Briscoe. So what will Featherstone do here? 0-0 is the score. 6 minutes of the game gone. As they come forward now, Gadwin, Springer with that first carry. Skittles a couple of defenders. Quick play of the ball. Wildy almost went without it. Chisholm, dummy, steps off his right foot again. Off the left foot now, Chisholm looking for some space. Good tackle in the end from Broadbent to halt his progress. Wildy. So out to Smith. Smith just keeps hold of it himself. Wanted to throw it out the back. Cuts back against the grain, looking for some switched off defenders, but couldn't find it. Plays it a couple of metres short to the right side of the post. Lockwood gives it to Akins. Akins out the back to Kerala. Looping pass out to Gareth Gale, and Gareth Gale will touch down, simple as you like, in the left corner. And all of the pressure that Featherstone have built in the opening few minutes of this game comes to first points in the form of Gareth Gale, who gets his 21st try of the season. Featherstone's top try scorer, as I said, in this, and just adding to his prolific tally. And what a ball that was from Mark Kerala. It was good shape from right to left from Rovers. The ball came out the back to Kerala. 9 times out of 10 he pulls the trigger and fires the right pass. He did on that occasion, hit Gareth Gale on the chest, and the winger strolled in untouched in that left corner. And after 7 minutes of the game, Featherstone have the lead. It's Barrow Raiders 0, Featherstone Rovers 4. Slick hands from Featherstone, who go down a couple of blind alleys early, but having to reset Barrow's defence up quickly on the edges, forcing them back through the middle of the field, but no panic on that occasion from Sean Long's men. They reset themselves in the middle of the field. Slick right to left shift. Kerala chiming into the line beautifully and just putting Gale away on that left edge. That'll certainly be pleasing for Sean Long early in this piece. There's been no panic. Playing with a bit of composure in that set brings first points. Kerala with a difficult conversion attempt. Judges the wind. It hits the post but bounces away, so that will keep the scoreline at Barrow 0, Featherstone 4. And incidentally, just looking at Barrow's lineup, I believe Kevin Rothwell has actually started on the wing rather than Ryan Shaw on this Barrow's right wing. As Barrow get the game underway. In fact, it is Ryan Shaw who's kicked off, so there's a couple of team changes here I'm not aware of as Stack takes the ball. This time the short kick-off paying dividends for Barrow, and they have rare possession in Featherstone's territory. Featherstone will have to respond in defence here. As Evans plays the ball. Smith, chief defender there. As Featherstone now offside, too quick out of the blocks. And they'll have a penalty now, Barrow, after just going behind. They'll have a penalty 20 metres out, and this will be the first real examination of Featherstone's defence. And in fact, no, they're going to go for the 2, so interesting tactic from Paul Crary's men. After just going behind 4-0, they're going to elect to take points on offer here. As I said, they are going into the teeth of a very strong wind here, so might be a little bit of conservative play from Barrow in this first half, just to try and minimise any damage playing against the wind. And it will be Ryan Shaw who will take the first penalty goal attempt to get Barrow on the board. Certainly not starting on the wing, Ryan Shaw, but is in the starting side. So here has the kick attempt, 20 metres out, bang in front of the post. You'd imagine even with the wind, this should be relatively straightforward. And a little bit of frustration for Featherstone there. You always want to complete your set after points, and the kick-off just getting caught in the wind there, blowing away from the Featherstone men, and Stack was quickest to react. As Shaw steps up and makes no mistake of guiding the ball between the posts, and all of a sudden it's just 2 points between the sides as it's Barrow Raiders 2, Featherstone Rovers 4. 11 minutes of the first half gone.
Barrow Raiders goal scorer number 5, Ryan Shaw, sponsored by Evelyn Street Tyre Services.
So Featherstone will get the game back underway here. The boot of Mark Carala. That's taken on the 10-metre line by Johnston, gives it straight on to Evans, and the Welsh international crashes into the teeth of the Rovers defence. Goes down 15 metres out from his own line. Wood waits an acting half. Gives it to Makin. An energetic start there from Barrow's middles. Wood. Ball comes out for Archer, drops off Langtree now. Langtree up and over that 30-metre line. Good defence on show from Wildy and Lockwood. Helping Elijah Taylor as they come forward again. Langtree, it's Wilkinson, I beg your pardon, up just shy of the 40-metre line. Couple of tackles remaining for Barrow here in this set. Wood. Short ball there for Makin. Second carry of this set. Really putting himself about in the middle third of the field. The slow play of the ball just shy of halfway. And it comes to Johnson, who just puts the ball down. And that'll be a cheap turnover. Playing into Featherstone's hands there. A result for Featherstone in defence. They'll get the turnover to play the ball on the halfway line. And frustration for the hosts there. Just trying to clear their own line. Just took his eyes off the ball there. Ryan Johnston. And Featherstone will be looking to go on the attack here through Lockwood. Plays it. Will eventually play it 40 metres from Barrow's line. Wildy to Aikins. Aikins inside ball there for Carala, but the Barrow defence was waiting for him. Wilkinson and Makin in there to shut the door. Quick play of the ball though. Aikins onto the ball. Flat pass there for Hankinson. Hankinson's been shepherded towards that touchline. He's shut down in the end by Shaw. The ball comes back in field. Aikins. Carala, Lockwood, out to Chisholm, looping pass over the top, taken by Briscoe brilliantly, one-handed, and cuts back in field, and he's thrown to the ground there, but illegally. High tackle there, going against Barrow. Now what will Featherstone do here? They've got the penalty 20 metres out. Craig Hall will just dink the ball into touch on that far right touch line. And the tap restart will come in the shape of Wilde. Gives it to Chisholm. Chisholm gives it on to Lockwood, straight on to Springer. So Featherstone going through the hands here on the first tackle as Springer will play the ball bang in front of the posts. They come left through the middle of the field. Lockwood, short pass there for Smith, who poked his nose through the line, but the Barrow defence regrouped just in time to bring him down. Good tackle from Stack there. Come short side again here. Aikens, flat pass there for Hankinson, spins away from one. Can he get away from Johnston? He can't. And the halfback stuck to him like glue, and he needed to do so to prevent a certain try. Wilde, dummy half, gives the ball to Smith. Smith had to check his run there. He'll have to give himself up. In fact, he gives it to Howe now. Howe spins away from one. Scragged to the ground in the end there by Evans. Couple of tackles still to come for Featherstone, leading by 4 points to 2. Chisholm, dummy, steps off his right foot again. He's going to go close to scoring here, Dane Chisholm. He goes down a metre short. Desperate defence from Barrow. Quick play of the ball, Wilde. And he hasn't played the ball correctly. Dane Chisholm just not regaining his feet. A little bit too rushed there, perhaps. He'd wrong-footed a couple of Barrow defenders, who in fairness did extremely well to shut him down, and the chance goes begging. Featherstone not getting to their last tackle. And Barrow will try and clear their line here. As they come forward through Toll. It's taken to ground there by Taylor and Chisholm. Wood, out of acting half, gives it to Langtree. Langtree up and over the 20-metre line now. A quarter of an hour of the game gone here. Barrow 2, Featherstone 4, listening on FRTV. As they come forward again here. Barrow cries for a high tackle, not given by the referee. And Broadbent this time rolling the sleeves up. Trying to pinch some metres forward for his side, who are still well within their own 40s. They look to shift the ball here. Johnston over the top, onto Shaw. And Shaw is wrapped up eventually. Alert to the task was Gale and Hankinson. That'll be the last one on their own 40. Johnston just drills the ball 10 metres into touch under extreme pressure from Featherstone. That's one thing Featherstone have done extremely well so far. The kick pressure, that was very much a hurried kick from Ryan Johnston, who only made about 10 metres. And once again, although they've only got one try on the board, Sean Long will be extremely pleased with how Featherstone are playing the territory in this game, with a turnover on halfway yet again. And you'd imagine at the end of this set, they'll be well on the attack as Gale, the lone try scorer this afternoon, plays it 40 metres out. Wilde gives it on to Hall. Hall had options on his right, kept hold of it. Just shy of the 30, he plays it. Wilde is knocked on, and they play the ball there. That won't please head coach Sean Long. Couple of errors in quick succession from Featherstone now, just releasing the pressure valve on Barrow, who will have scrum feed here. About 32 metres from their own line. In fact, it's just going to be a play the ball centre field. So Featherstone leading by just the 2 points, 4 points to 2. An unconverted Gareth Gale try, and a Ryan Shaw penalty in response for Barrow as they come forward up and over the halfway line through Langtree. Some strong carries from Langtree early on in this one. Wood to Wilkinson now. Wilkinson up and over that 40-metre line. So this is arguably Barrow's best possession of the game so far. Johnston drops off Stack. Stack knocked off his feet there by Smith, and he's lost the ball into the arms of Howe. What can Howe do with this? Eventually just takes the tackle there. Eckersley around the legs. Hankinson shaped to give it to Lockwood, who was checked in his run there, but Hankinson keeps hold, and he's wrestled to the ground there by Evans. Macon in there as well. Gale, as he always does, picked up and dropped to the ground there, and the Barrow defender, Stack I think it was, knew he had to do that or risk giving away a penalty. So Barrow defending here. Featherstone coming forward through Springer up to that 30-metre line. Springer plays it. Wilde gives it on to Chisholm, inside ball left for Kerala. Kerala's into the backfield, gives the ball out wide to Craig Hall. And with a flick of the switch, Featherstone have their second try of the game, just upping the tempo. The quick play of the ball, Wilde scampered out of dummy half. The ball came inside from Chisholm to Mark Kerala, who burst into the backfield, just handed the ball on, simple as you like, to Craig Hall, who gets Featherstone's second try of the afternoon as we approach the 20-minute mark here. It's Barrow Raiders 2, Featherstone Rovers 8. Really slick handling again from Rovers. Mark Kerala, always a dangerous presence, running threat through the middle of the field. And this time, the perfect pass inside to him. Split the Barrow defence, who defended well up to that point in the set. And Craig Hall, as he always is, there in support, takes the ball untouched, ran it round a couple of extra metres and gets Featherstone's second try of the game. And with the conversion attempt here, Kerala very much created the try. Could put Featherstone out to a 2-score advantage for the first time in this game. About 15 metres in from the right touchline here, Kerala. 12 metres out. Again, has the wind to contend with. He does have the wind at his back here, Kerala, so guides the ball between the posts. And Featherstone do have that 2-score advantage for the first time in this game. It's Barrow Raiders 2, Featherstone Rovers 10. What an impact Mark Kerala's had on this contest already in this game. He's applying the final pass for both of Featherstone's tries. Absolute quality at the back for Featherstone. So Shaw has the ball on the tee. Another high-hanging kick. It's gone the 10, but getting caught in the wind again. The ball's battered backwards into the hands of a Featherstone man, and it's given a knock-on. There's an argument to say that Smith did get a hand to that one, and these kicks proving extremely difficult to field in this wind. Fair play to Shaw, who's getting plenty of height on them. They're travelling barely the 10 metres before blowing back in the wind towards Barrow, and Featherstone 1 from 3 so far with the kick-offs in terms of fielding them, and Barrow keeping themselves in the contest on the back of these possessions. So the scrum win is won, and Toll with the first carry off the scrum. He's thrown to the ground there. Good tackle over the top, Elijah Taylor, recently back from a serious eye injury, of course. Good to see him putting some games together. As they come forward again, Wood gives it on to Archer, Archer onto Langtree. Langtree bumped away from Chisholm, but came again down below and wrapped up over the top by Wildy. Barrow 20 metres away from the line. Archer gives it on to Evans. Untidy pass there. Eventually into the arms of Shaw along the line. Knee goes down, he's wrapped up 20 metres out here. 10 metres in from this near right touchline. Johnston gives it on to Stack. Stack broke a couple of tackles there and earns the quick play of the ball. This will be the last one. Johnston dinks the ball in. It's trapped in the legs of Howe, and brilliant play from Howe again. Quickest to react and onto the ball, and Featherstone will take over possession, and he wins a penalty for his team there. As the Barrow players are not sure what that one's for. Decision given by the touch judge. I think it's for offside, and Ryan Johnson, the halfback, put the kick in, letting his teammates know that that wasn't good enough. Frustration. Really letting Featherstone off the hook there, Rod. A free 20 metres out of their own end. It's Hankinson, taps it, dummies, and just carts it into the the Barrow defence. Johnston stacking there, primary tackles with Eckersley. They come forward again. Good dominant carry there from Lockwood. Best part of 15 metres there from the skipper. Up to the halfway line now comes Smith. That's a good tackle down low by Josh Wood. Up to the halfway line now, Featherstone. Leading by 10 points to 2. Wildy dummied and pinched another 5 or 6 metres through the middle of the field there. And Featherstone with a couple of tackles remaining well inside Barrow territory. The pass, untidy one there, given straight to the hands of Johnston now, who's into the clear. He's got Featherstone defenders all around him. A great chase back from Akins, but Featherstone getting things wrong once again. That pass from Springer wasn't where it needed to be for Lockwood, and Barrow given a golden opportunity to cut the deficit here and get themselves back into this contest. Broadbent up to just short of the 20-metre mark. Plenty of tackles to play with for Barrow. It's a big examination coming up defensively from Featherstone, and that's a huge hit there on Wilkinson, who bumps away, but illegal. The shoulder charge must be the ruling here from the referee. Certainly big contact from Howe and Lockwood. But Wilkinson just spun away, and looks like they're going to be tempted to take the 2. In fact, they're not. They're just going to roll this on here. They want more points as Wilkinson been very busy in the middle of the field for Barrow. Certainly one of their best so far in this game. Will play the ball 15 metres out. Bang in front of the post. Wood. Ball comes out to Johnston. Johnston to Archer. The ball finds Broadbent. Broadbent's into the backfield here. Great tackle down low from Taylor. Helped out by Wildy. A try-saver from Featherstone. All hands to the pumps for the visitors here in defence. Langtree just takes the ball forward himself now. Barrow have got players stacked on this right edge. Wood comes out to Wilkinson. Making it is it who bats the ball on. The ball comes out wide. Shaw's got a little bit of space. There's defenders coming across here. Ryan Shaw, I think, has scored in that right corner. The try is awarded, and fast hands keeping the ball alive. Finds Barrow their first try of the game. It was Harvey Makin who managed to keep the ball alive. Got the ball out to Johnston, who tapped it on. Went through the hands. Eventually found its way to Ryan Shaw in the corner, and the Featherstone defence just wasn't quick enough to shut him down. And Barrow cut the deficit. It's now Barrow Raiders 6, Featherstone Rovers 10, with a kick to come. And Featherstone made to pay on this occasion for their poor execution. It was a pass from Springer to Lockwood that just wasn't on. Far too high. Really difficult for the captain to take. Just went into the hands of Ryan Johnston, who sprinted away the best part of 30 metres. He was rounded up in the end, but Barrow kept their composure, went through the hands. And Featherstone eventually running out of defenders on this Barrow's right edge there, left edge. And Ryan Shaw finished calmly in the corner and has the conversion attempt from the far right touchline to make this a 2-point contest as we approach 25-minute mark here at Craven Park. Shaw so far scoring all of Barrow's points. Featherstone will be looking to respond after this setback. So Shaw now. Couldn't get any further wide if he tried for this kick. A difficult one into the teeth of the wind here. Steps up. It's got plenty on it, but it's way off to the right-hand side of the post. So the try remains unconverted. Score remains Barrow Raiders 6, Featherstone Rovers 10. So Barrow certainly come to play here. In the game, we will get back underway eventually here. The boot of Mark Kerala. Spiralling kick there, taken on the try line by Johnson, who puts the ball down. That's surely a knock-on, and the referee awards it. And he's furious with himself there, Ryan Johnson. His second error of the game. And a real coach-killing error that. I always say the set after points is the most important one, and them Barrow getting their job wrong there, getting things wrong on the very first play of the set. And all of a sudden, Featherstone right back on the attack here. Scrum feed 10 metres out, bang in front of the posts, and a chance to cancel out that Barrow try at the very first attempt as Chisholm gives the ball on to Hall. Hall dummies, almost got away from his man there. Toll came again to shut the danger down. Quick play the ball for Briscoe. Briscoe, prolific try scorer, brought down a metre short. Barrow defence was there in numbers. Chisholm gives it to Springer. Springer bounces away from Evans, loses the ball. It's given to Chisholm, and Chisholm knocks the ball on. It was another hurried offload, so a couple of minutes to forget perhaps for Gadwin Springer. As the Barrow defence got up in his face, it was Ben Evans put a real shot on him and trying to offload the ball there in a little bit of a panic. It was at the feet of Chisholm, who just couldn't take the pass, and once again, execution not quite where it needed to be for Featherstone. They've shown in this game so far that when they do get it right, they're extremely dangerous. 2 tries on the board so far this afternoon, but just overplaying perhaps a little bit in the last few minutes. 12 minutes to go to the break. Barrow 6, Featherstone 10. As Barrow looking to clear their line here as Aikens wraps up. Bullman it was, as they come forward again here. through Burke, who's onto the field for the first time this afternoon, as Evans comes forward again, wrapped up and put on his back there by Springer and Wildy, up to the 30-metre line inside Barrow's half. Come forward again here, through Makin. Makin trying to get to the 40, but Featherstone's defence holding strong. Quick play of the ball, Langtree took the pass from Wood up to the halfway line. Langtree doing a good job on that left edge, but an equally good tackle from Elijah Taylor. Last tackle. Archer just dabs the ball along the deck, so this is clearly a tactic in the face of the wind from Paul Crowley's men, just putting the ball along the deck, not giving the Featherstone back three any chance of bringing the ball back. So they come forward now, Featherstone, 40 metres from their own line. It's Briscoe going backwards, finds the offload, a controlled one to his wing partner Gale, but Barrow really attacking with their defence here. That try certainly put a spring in their step as quick play of the ball low from Gale. Finds Hall up to 5 metres short of that halfway line centre field. Featherstone still leading by 10 points to 6 here at Craven Park. So we approach the half-hour mark here in Barrow. Smith plays slowly here, 40 metres from the Barrow line. Akins tries to get away from Johnston, comes again. He's wrapped up with help from Stack. 35 metres away from the line. Kerala gives it on to Lockwood. Lockwood just stands in the tackle and goes down the middle of the field, 25 out. And he's penalised now, James Lockwood. The referee thinking that there was a deliberate grab at the Barrow man, and he's now been marched 10 metres for dissent here. So Featherstone not only giving up possession, but giving away a field position here, and frustration starting to mount for the visitors. We're in danger of giving Barrow a real leg up. The tap restart, for the Barrow not interested in looking for the touch finder here, as Stack is wrapped up in the tackle of Smith, and Lockwood plays the ball on halfway. They come forward again, Makin. It's absolutely smashed there, great tackle from Wildy over the top. Barrow into Featherstone territory. Rothwell is the man on from the bench who's on for his first carry. Wood gives it on to Burke, onto Makin. Makin holds it up. Good tackle in the end from Arama Howe and Lockwood. 30 metres away from the Featherstone line. Burke, ball out the back to Archer. Archer dummies and goes into the line there. Good tackle from Taylor. Barrow 15 metres away from the line. Featherstone leading by 10 points to 6. The kick comes out wide. Eckersley couldn't take the ball cleanly, and it's given to Gale, and I think this is going to be potentially a knock-on given against Gareth Gale here. So Barrow certainly riding their luck. That kick wasn't quite where it needed to be. It was Eckersley went up for the ball, tapped it backwards into the path of Gale, and Gale just got a hand to it before eventually retaining possession, and that will be a scrum feed to Barrow, 10 metres out. So Featherstone under real pressure here. Prolonged pressure for the first time in this game. With 8 minutes to go to the break. Barrow 6, Featherstone 10. Scrum feed is 1. Archer shaped to give it out wide, kept hold of it himself. Good tackle first up in the line there from Kerala. He'll play it 5 metres out. Wood. Short ball there for Langtree. Great tackle from Craig Hall. Langtree still going, trying to wrestle his way to the line, eventually thrown to the ground there by Hall. Important tackle from the Featherstone centre. Plays the ball a metre short. Wood smuggles a pass out. Archer comes out to Makin. Makin out to Johnston. Johnston skips away from Howe, but Howe comes again with help from Wildy to bring him down. Smith was there over the top as well. 10 metres out. They come forward. Burke, short pass there for Makin. Good tackle down low there from Smith. Just cut him in half. A metre out. They come wide again. Archer, looping ball over the top. And this will be a try here in the corner to the Barrow Raiders. Bowman, I believe it is, who scored on that left edge. And a looping pass there from Archer, just lofted the ball over the top. He saw that Luke Briscoe was in off his wing. And Bowman got on the outside, dived in that left corner. And just like that, the scores are locked up. We've got 7 minutes to go to the break. It's Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 10. Featherstone really with just the masters of their own downfall at the moment. You could argue at the other end of the field that the decision to penalise James Lockwood in possession for a push in the ruck was a tough one. But Featherstone not responding on the back of that decision and cracking again on the left edge this time. And was a good pass from Archer, just kept hold of the ball well. As I said, he just waited for Briscoe, who was just in no man's land there, looking around for the ball, weighing off his wing. The ball floated out to Bullman, who just haired onto it on the outside and scored in that left corner to lock up the scores as we approach half-time. And Ryan Shaw will have the attempt at conversion to put Barrow in front, as Coach Sean Long looking to make some changes here. Springer leaves the field, as does James Lockwood. There'll be a double forward interchange. I think Craig Kopchak and John Davies will be injected into the game for the first time. So Shaw steadies himself. Steps up, another difficult conversion attempt, and that's just dropped in front of the face of the posts. And the scoreline remains Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 10. So Featherstone got themselves off to a really good start. Tries to Gareth Gale and Craig Hall, just a Ryan Shaw penalty on the board for Barrow, but since then it's been all Barrow. Tries to Ryan Shaw and Andrew Bullman. The scoreline locked up at 10 apiece, as Johnston this time takes it well and gives it on to Burke, atoning for that earlier mistake there, Ryan Johnston. And Burke, plenty of Super League experience. Wigan and Salford plays the ball. They come forward again here. Do Makin. Makin plays it 20 metres out. Coming forward again here, Barrow, beg your pardon. Up to the 30-metre line. Eckersley now, bumps away from one, can't get away from Kopchak, straight into the action. Saunders onto the field now for Paul Crary's side. A Stack stands in the tackle, finds the offload for Eckersley. Eckersley gives the ball on now to Broadbent. Broadbent stands in the tackle, eventually submits to the challenge of John Davies. On their own 40 here, Barrow on the last. This will be another kick along the line, and it just dribbles 15 metres into touch. On the 40-metre line inside Featherstone territory, and Featherstone want to get on and play this. There's 4 minutes to go to the break. Barrow 10, Featherstone 10. An intriguing contest so far in this one. Listening live on FRTV. So they come forward again now, Featherstone. Akins plays it. Wildy shapes to give it right. Davies slightly overrun the play there, eventually just drops the ball off for Smith. Smith stands in the tackle. It is wrapped up in the end by Rothwell and Saunders. They come forward. Kerala out the back there to Hall. Hall stands in the challenge of Toll, but eventually goes down with help from Langtree. Chisholm steps off his left foot, off his right foot again there, Dane Chisholm, but Barrow defence was alert to it. 10 metres out on the last. They come down the blind side again. Kerala dinks the ball into the line. He couldn't get it through the line. Was trapped by the Barrow defender. And they come forward again. I believe it was Rothwell there on that edge doing a good job. So Featherstone once again not able to put an attacking kick through on the last play. The kick from Kerala that time not quite where it needed to be. So they come forward again here. For the most recent try scorer, Bullman. Bumped off one defender. Saunders gives it on to Toll. Toll crabbing across field, and he's bumped and driven backwards in a great tackle from Luke Briscoe. Really lifting his side defensively there in that tackle. Makin finds the offload for Broadbent. Broadbent wrapped up. Good tackle in the end from Briscoe's defending in the middle of the field there on this play. As Archer just dabs the ball again. Carbon copy. That's the recipe from the Barrow halfbacks in this first half, just drilling the ball along the floor. And once again, Featherstone will take over 40 metres away from their own line and make it 2 minutes to go to the break. Barrow 10, Featherstone 10. Nothing to choose between the two sides as Gale, big carry straight off the ruck, takes 3 defenders into Barrow territory. Kerala, Briscoe now, both wingers getting involved early in this set, up and over the 40. Wilde onto Kopchak. Kopchak shaped to give it outside, kept hold of it himself and stands in a trio of Barrow defenders looking to get his arms free. Craig Kopchak eventually goes to the ground 25 metres out. Smith gives it on to Akins. Akins gives it to Hankinson, who's wrapped up 15 metres out. Quick play the ball though. Howe just scampers out of dummy half. The big frame of Arama Howe is bundled down 5 metres away from the line. Chisholm wants the ball out the back. The pass eventually comes. Chisholm steps off his right foot, gives it to Taylor. Taylor's going to go close to scoring here, but he's wrapped up and put on his back. And the Barrow defence does just enough to hold Featherstone out. And that will likely be the last possession Featherstone have in this first half. But they have Barrow where they want them, on the try line. Coming out of their own end once again, Langtree plays it. There's a high tackle coming from Chisholm there, just creeping up high on the Barrow man. I believe it was Broadbent. We could just see, difficult to see, I think it's actually Dan Toll who was just caught high there, just a little bit of late footwork. Chisholm creeping up high. And this penalty kick to touch from Archer will find just about 10 metres on that far side, so Barrow will take over 20 metres away from their own line. Inside the final minute of this first half, Barrow 10, Featherstone 10, and certainly not put off by that shot. Toll takes the next carry. And he's wrapped up 20 metres out from his own line as another strong challenge coming in there on Burke. Featherstone certainly plenty of bite in their defence. Just with the ball, they've perhaps been lacking in terms of execution at times, which has hurt them in this first half as the siren sounds. And Barrow, there's no doubt, will certainly be the happier side of the two at half-time, as they've managed to draw level in the scoring after Featherstone threatened to take control of this game. They scored after just 7 minutes through Gareth Gale try, which was unconverted. Ryan Shaw responded with a penalty to cut the gap to 2 for Barrow before Craig Hall took the pass from a Mark Kerala break, and which Kerala converted to make it 10 points to 2 in the final quarter of an hour of the first half. Belonged to Barrow with tries to converted try to Ryan Shaw and an unconverted try to Andrew Bullman 7 minutes from the break. Leads the scoreline at half-time. Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 10. Featherstone will need to be better, especially with ball in hand in the second half, if they're going to come out on top of this one. The game locked at half-time. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back for all the second half action in a few minutes' time. Hello and welcome back to Craven Park in Barrow, where we're here to bring you the second half action of this Betfred Championship Round 19 clash between Barrow Raiders and Featherstone Rovers. Nothing to choose between the two sides at half-time. Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 10. And some good bits and some less good bits to Featherstone's performance in the first half. Started really brightly with some slick handling, slick play, producing tries to Gareth Gale and Craig Hall. But then execution at times for Sean Longside letting them down and giving Barrow a foothold back into the game, which they were good enough to take through tries to Ryan Shaw and Andrew Bullman. And both sides back out on the field now with it all to play for in the second 40. Featherstone, of course, with a win here this afternoon, can go 10 points clear at the top of the Betfred Championship. I'm Tom Alderson. We're here live on FRTV. Second half action coming up. And it'll be Featherstone attacking from left to right as we see it in this second half, and will be, assuming the conditions are the same, going against a pretty strong wind that they had at their backs in the first half. Be interesting to see how that impacts the kicking game of Featherstone in the second 40s. Hall, good kick through the middle of the field, taken by Broadbent, who had a little bit of time and space to wind up, and he's wrapped up by Kopchak and Daniel Smith on the first tackle of the second half. Ball comes out to Stack, straight on to Eckersley there. We've had confirmation at half-time. He's named in jumper 18, playing in jumper 26. As Barrow come forward again, a good strong bustling run there from Rothwell was cut down there, and a strong tackle from Davies in In fact, gives away a 6 again. Saunders pinches another 10 metres, so Barrow already looking for the early advantage as Makin wrapped up down low there by Davis, locking up the middle, Kopchak over the top. Burke bumps away from Kopchak and wrapped up there by Wildy this time, and Taylor and Smith in there to help out. So Barrow already well inside Featherstone's half here as they come forward. Johnston gives it on to Stack. Stack tries to get away from Howe. Finds an offload eventually there for Saunders, I beg your pardon, who kept hold of it himself and goes down 11 metres away from the line. Real test of Featherstone's defence early as Burt comes forward. The Featherstone defence didn't come up to meet him, but Howe in the end doing enough to bring him down a metre short. 5 metres to the right-hand side of the post on the last for Barrow. Be a slow play of the ball. Ball comes out for Johnston. Johnston tries to get away from Davies, and Davies, with help from his teammates, eventually brings him down. Good defensive play in the end there from Featherstone, who survive some early pressure on their line and will be challenged to come away from their own end here. Couple of minutes gone in the second half. No change to the half-time score. Barrow 10, Featherstone Rovers 10. So they come forward through Hankinson. Hankinson up to the 10-metre line. Quick play of the ball. Gale, the opening try scorer of the game, stands in the tackle up towards the 20-metre line. Akins scampers into that line and is eventually wrapped up. A good tackle there from Eckersley, who did just enough to close the gap on the inside, but not before Featherstone have got themselves up to the 40. The pass eventually into the arms of Davies, who just stands in a two-man Barrow tackle. He'll play the ball 5 metres short of the halfway line. Smith out to Chisholm. Chisholm out to Kerala now. Kerala dummies. Bumps away from one. Can't get away from Toll in the end. And he'll play the ball 40 metres out. This will be the last one. What will Chisholm do here? Puts the kick down the middle of the field, just caught in the breeze. Taken on one bounce there by one of Barrow's first half try scorers. That's Bullman. And Featherstone now penalised. The high shot. And a relieving penalty it is for Barrow. Other scores around the championship at half-time. Halifax leading Newcastle 22 points to 0. Keighley 6, Widnes 14. Swinton 0, London 10. Whitehaven 18, Bradford Bulls 10. And York 6, Sheffield Eagles 12. So some interesting scores around the championship division this afternoon, but our focus is on this one where there's nothing to choose between the two sides here. Barrow 10, Featherstone 10. As the tap restart off the penalty, Makin takes the tackle on the halfway line, bang in the centre of the field. Saunders gives it on. The pass eventually coming out here to Rothwell. It was Rothwell who found the offload, in fact. It was Archer who played the ball as Makin comes with his second carry in 3 plays here for Barrow. Ever willing runner for the Raiders. The ball comes out to Johnston now. Johnston, short pass for Stack, good tackle. Met immediately by Arama Howe, who did cut off his options. He finds the pass out the back there, and Barrow keeping the ball alive brilliantly at times as Broadbent gives it to Johnston now. Johnston looking for the kick out wide here, looking for Bullman. The ball's going to bounce and beat everybody into touch. And a little bit of fortune perhaps for Featherstone as Luke Briscoe a long way in field. The kick just a little bit too strong and evaded everybody into touch in the end. So Featherstone will have the play the ball 10 metres out. 5 minutes gone in the second half here. Barrow 10, Featherstone 10. Gale now. Good strong carry again from Gale up to that 20-metre line. Taking defenders with him. 1-2 punch here from the Featherstone wingers. Briscoe up to the 30-metre line. Stands in the challenge, eventually goes down. Saunders. Chief tackler there as Howe skips away from 1-2. He's into the backfield here, Arama Howe. He's going to try and go around the fullback, Broadbent, who does well to ground him. He couldn't quite find his support player there, Arama Howe, but just kept his composure and took the tackle. Aikins gives it to Smith, comes off his right foot. back along this side now on the short side for Hankinson. Hankinson almost got around from round Johnston, who got the shirt tails and pulls him to ground. Featherstone 15 metres out. Quick play of the ball for Gale. Nobody's come up on Gale. Gale's going to go close to scoring himself here. And the Barrow defence eventually regroups and pushes him back a metre short. Featherstone's first real opportunity of the second half here. Looking to put themselves back in front. Pass comes out, Wildy to Davies. Davies out to Chisholm. Chisholm looking for the kick out wide. Needs a bounce. Luke Briscoe's going to get the bounce and scores in the right corner. And what a piece of play from Dane Chisholm, who's put a couple of kicks that haven't quite worked so far in this game, but that one on the money, just brought the winger up, dinked it over the top. The bounce was perfect for Luke Briscoe, who scores in the right corner and puts Featherstone back in front in this game. We've had 6 minutes of the game gone in the second half. It's Barrow 10, Featherstone 14. And Featherstone getting their execution spot on there. A really difficult skill to do on the run, getting the weight of that kick. Dane Chisholm back in the side for the first time since returning to the club, making his mark there with a terrific kick over the top. That's Luke Briscoe's 11th try of the season, and fast approaching the 100 try mark for Featherstone. Is 92nd in Featherstone colours. As I said, both of these wingers on show for Featherstone this afternoon, absolutely prolific in Rovers colours, and both getting on the score sheet again this afternoon. Mark Corrala now with perhaps his toughest assignment of the game so far, playing against the breeze, 5 metres in from touch. He's guided it, but the wind taking hold and pushes it to the left-hand side of the post, so the try goes unconverted. Scoreline remains Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 14, make it 8 minutes of the second half gone here at Craven Park. Listening live on FRTV. And that try manufactured off the back of a really good set going forward from Featherstone. The wingers started it before a lovely break on the left edge from Arama Howe. On the back of that, Hankinson went close. They went the best part of 90 metres on that set, and finishing coolly on the right edge at the other side of the field as the kickoff bounces off the legs of Aikens, and it's given a knock on there, and that's a really, really tough call, it has to be said, from the referee. You could see clearly that Aikens took his arms away from that one. It hit his knees. I thought there was certainly evidence to suggest that. The referee immediately blowing his whistle for a knock on. Aikens is furious with the call, and Featherstone immediately back under pressure here, as neither side have been particularly good in their sets after points so far in this game. And that wind, which is now behind Barrow, playing a factor as the ball came drilling at some pace towards Aikens, but I thought personally he hadn't touched that ball with his hands. But Barrow won't be complaining as Toll tries to get on the outside on the first play after the scrum. He's wrapped up there by Craig Hall. Good tackle from the veteran centre. Langtree tries to step away from Davis, who goes down low, and he's cut in half there over the top by Elijah Taylor. Second tackle for Barrow. Saunders waits at acting half. Gives it to Archer. Archer out to Johnston. Long looping pass to Eckersley. Eckersley tries to get on the outside of his man. Great tackle. Hankinson sticking to the task. He'll play it 10 out, 5 metres in from the right touchline. Stack comes off his left, off his right foot. Tries to go again. Jared Stack, who's met by Connor Jones, I believe that is, who's onto the field for his first piece of action of the afternoon. Saunders gives it on to Johnston, comes across field looking for an option, kicks in behind the line here. That's taken well by Briscoe, but he can't get away from his man Bullman. Well-weighted kick from Johnston. Barrow making the wind behind their backs, taking advantage of that so far of the kicking game. That's the first repeat set of the game, and a little bit of argy-bargy there for the attention on Briscoe after he'd been shepherded over the dead ball line. But the referee not interested in analysing that any further as the players separate, and this will be a goal line dropout. So Featherstone having to do some defending here. A good test of their defence after going in front again early in this second half. As the short kick-off, hanging in the wind, it's gone the 10. It's going to bowl backwards into the arms of Corrala, and what worked for Barrow in the first half has now worked for Featherstone. A splendid drop-out kick from Chris Hankinson, who put just enough height on it. The wind took hold, blew it back towards Featherstone. Kerala pouched it safely, and Featherstone take over possession here as Smith put on his back by two Featherstone defenders. It's Makin and Rothwell. Chisholm almost goes through the line himself, and Makin had to be on his mettle and shut the door on him on the inside, but Chisholm growing into this contest as Davies comes forward. Shaped to pass, keeps hold of it himself, and driven sideways into the ground by Saunders and Stack. Featherstone approaching the halfway. They're going to kick early here. Hankinson gets a good piece of it, and it'll trickle. It's cut off there by Broadbent. A good kick chase from Featherstone, salvaging some field position after defending back-to-back sets as they come forward through Shaw. 11 minutes of the second half gone. Barrow 10, Featherstone 14. Just the lone, unconverted Luke Briscoe try in the second half, the difference between the sides as it stands. Shaw now. As they come forward now. Ball comes out wide for Langtree. Langtree's dropped off. And they're up to the 40-metre line now. The kick along the line there from Rothwell, playing the kicking duties. Archer, I beg your pardon. Puts the ball into touch once again. And it's Matthew Cozza who's on the field now for the first time this afternoon off the bench for Sean Longside. Will play the ball 20 metres in, away from the Featherstone line, as Gale, as he often does, that first carry. Just standing in the tackle, so difficult to put down there, Gareth Gale, up to the 30-metre line again. He's finished off by Rothwell. Most recent try scorer, Briscoe. Finds the offload there for Jones. Jones dummies and just takes the tackle from his opposite number, Saunders, with Burke over the top. Featherstone approaching the halfway line once again. Hankinson. Hankinson just digs into the line, takes a couple of defenders with him, up and over that halfway line. Featherstone looking good in this set of six. They come short side. Aikins, infield again for Hall. Hall finds the pass for Aikins. Aikins puts the ball on the deck. If the bounce is kind here, Featherstone could have some more points, but the ball eventually shepherded into touch off a Barrow man. And the next best thing coming for Rovers, as it's a goal line dropout coming, and really well manufactured play from Featherstone once again. Aikins and Craig Hall combining there. Aikins just putting the ball along the deck. He wanted it to sit up for Gareth Gale. He didn't quite get it where it needed to be, but the Barrow man on the far side having no option but to shepherd the ball over the touchline in goal. And the dropout comes from Archer, taken by Chisholm. Gives it on to Cozza now. Cozza just runs into the teeth of the Barrow defence, and that's a good strong shot from Rothwell first up there for Barrow. But Featherstone leading by 4 points, in a good position here. Kopchak up towards that 20-metre line on just the second play for Rovers. Davies out the back to Chisholm. Chisholm just hands it on nonchalantly to Taylor, and that'll be a penalty against Barrow. But a shot off the ball, I think. The contact after the pass had been thrown. Interested to see what Featherstone do here. It's an easy 2 points if they want it. Kerala's calling for the ball. And the Barrow man just going to be getting a talking to here. Cavan Rothwell, I believe the man is, who's been penalised. Just gets a talking to, no further action against him, but very much something that the referees are clamping down on this season, protecting the players after they've passed the ball. Featherstone waving the chance at the 2 points. They want more as Cozza comes forward off the tap restart. Will play the ball 10 metres out to the right hand side of the post. Ball comes back through the middle of the field. Chisholm onto Aikins. Aikins out to Kerala. Hankinson had slightly overrun the play, and Kerala just dies with the ball there, 5 metres out. 10 metres in from the far left touchline as we see it. Featherstone looking for their second try in this second half. Davies, shaped to give it to Cozza, kept hold of it, wrapped up well by the Barrow defence. Jones out to Aikins. Aikins flat pass there for Howe, and Howe will stroll in on the left-hand side, and a crucial try in the context of this game. Wonderful build-up play there from Featherstone. And Featherstone go back-to-back in the second half, with Arama Howe, the most recent try scorer for Featherstone. The shape straight off the ruck. Lovely delayed flat pass straight to the arms of Arama Howe, and the big man barely had a fingernail laid on him. Goes over to score on the left-hand side of the post. With 15 minutes gone in the second half, Featherstone take control of this one. It's Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 18. Lovely build-up play once again. Howe, an imposing figure on that left edge. Has played the whole game so far. And this time, just running into the gap. And puts Featherstone, more importantly, 2 scores up for the second time in this game. Featherstone playing a lot more composed in this second half as Kerala slots the ball between the posts, and just like that, Featherstone have themselves a 10-point lead. Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 20. So the kickoff takes a wobbly one up towards the dead ball line, and once again these kickoffs causing all sorts of problems for Featherstone. If it was the short kickoffs in the first half, it's the long kickoffs in the second, as Featherstone concede possession off the kickoff again for the second time in this half. We have mentioned the wind, and although Featherstone are in front on the scoreboard, it's definitely Barrow that have made the better of the conditions so far, but Featherstone will be looking to get the ball back once again here. Another towering kick is battered back there by Davies into the arms of a Barrow man. It's eventually picked up by Langtry, who couldn't take the ball. It's impossible to tell what's exactly has happened in that play. There were several sets of hands who got their hands on the ball. It'll be interesting to see who gets the scrum feed here. It's going to go in the shape of Featherstone, so the response from Featherstone immediately. I don't think I've seen that too many times in a game of rugby league, where a team coughs up possession off the kickoff twice, and from the goal line dropout gets the ball back twice without having to defend a tackle. Fantastic play from Hankinson once again, who takes the ball off the scrum feed here and will play the ball 12 metres away from his own line. They come forward again. Gale almost split the defensive line there, and Saunders had to hold on to him like glue there to stop the break as Davies comes forward. Featherstone found some real energy in the middle of the field here. They've got Barrow backtracking, and it's another penalty. Ball steal this time. And Barrow perhaps now feeling the pressure as Featherstone have upped the ante in the last 5 or 6 minutes here. Now with that 10-point cushion, as Chisholm just taps it. Cozza stands in the tackle, almost goes through the line there. Cozza, and desperate tackle needed from Rothwell to halt his progress. Chisholm into the line. Taylor bounces away from Langtry, who comes again and halts his progress. 35 metres away from the Barrow line once again. Chisholm gives it on to Cozza, to Aikens, on to Howe, the most recent try scorer, stands in that tackle and is wrapped up 25 metres away from the Barrow line. What would Featherstone give for another score here as they come short side? Aikens digs into the line, gives it to Hankinson. Hankinson just grounded. A strong tackle there from Eckersley. Gale out of dummy half, runs across field. Eckersley going after him. Eventually gets his man, but not before Gale's made it within 2 metres of the line in the shadow of the posts. Jones out to Aikens. Aikens steps off his left foot. Finds the offload for Davies. Still the last. Puts the kick through. It's put backwards there by Davies, so this will be a turnover. Not played at by Barrow, and he must have given a knock on there against Davies. I'm sure he tried to propel the ball backwards there. As it is, that'll be the turnover at 10 metres out. Barrow once again coming off their own line. Bowman now. Try scorer in the first half. No way to go this time. He's wrapped up by Taylor and Jones. Toll through the middle of the field, runs into the good shot there from Davis in the middle of the field. Johnson's going to kick early here on the back of the breeze. It's got plenty on it. The angle's a wonderful one. It's just going to trickle into touch. I believe that's a metre short of the 20-metre line. The Barrow fans think that he's got a 40-20. I'm almost certain that's pulled up a metre short, but you can see what he was trying to do. In fact, he's given a 40-20. A fortuitous call there, I think, for Barrow. I'm almost certain that pulled up a metre short, but the call given nonetheless, and Featherstone must respond defensively. They play the ball. Wood back on the field. Johnston gives it to Archer. Archer dummies into the line. Good tackle there from Elijah Taylor. Having to defend their line here. Barrow looking to get back into the game. Making stands in the tackle. Great shot again there from Elijah Taylor. With Lockwood in there to help out. Archer, nowhere to go. Good tackle. Good line speed on the edges there from Featherstone. Jones in there to wrap him up. Couple of tackles remaining for Barrow, 10 metres out. Short side play for Langtree. Langtree's wrapped up. Good, strong tackle again there from Featherstone, being excellent defensively up to this point in this set. Wood darted out a dummy half, gives it to Archer eventually. Archer gives the kick away. It wasn't the best. Arama Howe pouches it safely. And that most recent examination will please Sean Long as they shut down everything Barrow threw at them on the back of what was, let's just say, a dubious call of a 40-20 that gave them the field position. But Featherstone refused to buckle and are coming forward now. So we are into the final quarter of this one. It's Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 20. As Lockwood bounces away from 1-2. Still going, James Lockwood. Best part of 15 metres on that carry from the captain. Jones just has to give himself up as Davies overrunning the play. A couple of Featherstone players looking at each other in confusion there. Chisholm is going to kick early here. Just dinks the ball along the deck into touch on this near touch line. And Barrow will have the play of the ball 30 metres away from their own line. And as the minutes tick on, time begins to become a factor for Barrow. They've only had a couple of opportunities in this second half. Featherstone's defence has been solid. As Barrow come forward. Stack, I think it was, who took a heavy shot there and a bit groggy getting up. Gets up holding the hip. It's Making again there. Lost count of how many carries he's made in the middle of the field. Plays it for Wood. Evans now back on the field for the home side. Goes down a metre short of the halfway line. Tackle over the top was Davies and Cozza. Spins it left. Archer. Flat pass there for Langtree. Langtree stands in the tackle of Chisholm. Taylor over the top. Real workhorse performance again from Elijah Taylor, as we're so used to seeing throughout his career. Archer digs the ball back behind Kerala. It's going to sit up on its point, and Kerala has to get back there and beats Toll one-on-one. Beats a second man, Mark Kerala. Fantastic kick return from Mark Kerala. What quality from the Featherstone fullback. Turned a really difficult situation into a promising one for Featherstone. And off the back of that, Luke Briscoe up to the 30-metre line on just the second tackle as Gale comes forward. So all of Featherstone's back three doing a great job of getting them out of trouble there on this set so far. Jones. So to Cozza. Cozza out to Howe, had to reach behind him. Bumps away from 1-2. Looks to get the arms free. Arama Howe keeps hold of it in the end. Plays it a metre into Barrow territory. One more carry, you'd imagine. Akins. Ball comes back to Hall, who stands in the tackle now. This will be the last one for Rovers. Akins puts the kick high. That's going to go caught in the wind, goes backwards. Taken by Chisholm. Chisholm off the outside of the boot. Gets the ball back. In fact, it's eventually picked up by Ryan Shaw on that far side. As Bullman, in off his wing, takes the carry. Wood gives it on to Johnston. The Barrow man again up to the 40-metre line. Raiders side of halfway. Wood. So to Evans. Evans now stands in the challenge once again. So difficult to put to ground, Ben Evans. And he pitches a metre into Featherstone territory. Wood, quick play of the ball. Wilkinson back on the field. Will play the ball 40 metres away from the Featherstone line. This will be the last one. Kick coming from Archer. Just stabs the ball along the deck. Takes one bounce and over the touchline, 10 metres out on this near left side. And Barrow once again challenging Featherstone to come off their own line. Quarter of an hour of the game remaining. Scoreline remains Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 20. Listening live on FRTV. Featherstone on course as it stands for their 5th consecutive win of the season. In a row, beg your pardon. just one defeat in the league all year. As they come forward again now through Gale. Gale off his right foot and up towards that 30-metre line. Just so many metres after contact from Gareth Gale, worth his weight in gold at both ends of the field, as Jones scampers out a dummy half, picks up 10 metres, but eventually grasped there in a desperate tackle from Wood. Taking a little bit of a knock there, Jones. Springer back on the field in the last couple of minutes. He's cut down there. A good tackle from Barrow in the middle of the field there. As they come forward, Lockwood gets up to play it, 30 metres out. Pass comes right, Chisholm, do a little bit of pressure, puts the kick high, taken by Broadbent. Broadbent immediately wrapped up by his opposite number, Mark Kerala. And a good set upfield. Featherstone very rarely struggling to get upfield here against Barrow, and have the home side at the end of the field that they want once again. As they come forward through Shaw. Shaw wrapped up in a strong challenge again there. Akins and Lockwood, the tacklers. Stack. Flat pass there for Eckersley, who's wrapped up. That was a great tackle from Gareth Gale. Wood, out of dummy half, gives it to Johnston. They're kicking early again here, Barrow. The kick this time just straightens up, and it's going to eventually trickle over the dead ball line. And a rare 7-tackle set coming from either side here today. So the conditions the way they are, that ball just trickling over the dead ball line. Featherstone will take over on the 20. 13 minutes of the game remaining. Still leading Barrow by 20 points to 10, Featherstone. And the penalty goes against Barrow here for a lifting tackle on Luke Briscoe. It wasn't particularly dangerous, but it was, by the law, above the horizontal, and a relieving penalty coming for Featherstone here. They'll just tap and restart here. That's been very much the tactic for the teams attacking in this direction. As Springer now, plenty of energy since coming back off the bench, but he's bundled backwards there in a strong tackle from Stack and Wood. Jones, double pumps, gives it to Lockwood. Lockwood up and over the halfway line now, just bulking his way up to the 40-metre line, inside Barrow territory. Cozza gives it to Chisholm. Chisholm just wrapped up there by Wilkinson. Ball and all tackle from the Barrow loose forward. Lockwood out the back, Akins. Akins out to Hall. The space out wide here for Featherstone if they can get there, as Hall goes without the ball, and it's picked up there by Creswell, who's on the field for the hosts. His first piece of action of the game. And the penalty now, an error followed by a penalty by Featherstone. Penalty for offside. That's a hell of a kick from Johnston. His best part of 45 metres on that kick. There was nothing Kerala could do about it, such as the breeze behind Barrow's back, and all of a sudden Featherstone defending their own line here. Barrow are able to get over for a try. It will set up a interesting and tense final 10 minutes. Featherstone, of course, with a 10-point advantage as it stands. Wilkinson takes that first carry off the tap restart. Will play it centre field. Wood, out of dummy half, gives it to Archer. Archer wrapped up down low there. Good tackle from Connor Jones. Plays it in the shadow of the posts. Wood, acting half. Ball comes out for Wilkinson. Good ball and all tackle there. Stops him in his tracks, Gadwin Springer. He goes down 5 metres short. Wood comes right for Stack. Stack close to the line here. He's going to go close to scoring, Jared Stack. Has he got over? He hasn't. That's a wonderful tackle from Akins under the ball. Looked for all money as if he was going to score, and he's forced the error there. Stack throws the ball away in disbelief, and that could be the most important tackle of the game for Featherstone Rovers. Could see Caleb Akins under the ball there. Managed to stop Stack from scoring, and then in his haste to get up and play the ball, he loses the ball. And that'll be a turnover, and could that be the chance that sees the game slip away from Barrow here? But Featherstone having to show their mettle defensively, having to show some desperation on their own line, and coming up with the answers without the ball once again. Featherstone now looking to clear their line. Hall, try scorer in the first half, plays it, 15 out. Jones, always alert to a quick play of the ball, caught the markers out. Hall now. Chisholm comes from the field here. Davis comes back onto the field, so interested to see what Featherstone do in their lineup here. Up and over the halfway line, Howe gives it to Aikens, gives it to Springer. Springer bumps away from Evans, who did well to stick to him. That'll be the last one, 40 metres away from the Barrow line. Featherstone still leading by 20 points to 10 as Hankinson drills it along the deck, goes in behind Creswell, and that's just going to evade everybody over the dead ball line. Fortuitous bounce there for Barrow, who get the 7 tackle set. Just a metre too long, that kick from Hankinson. As Creswell has had to wait over an hour to get on the field. Plays the ball 30 metres out. Bullman now. Good tackle from Jones and Lockwood. Wood gives it on to Johnston. Johnston on to Stack. Stack stands in the tackle. Good tackle down low from Connor Jones. Barrow getting up towards the halfway line here. Broad bent. Bent backwards in the tackle. Cosser and Lockwood. Wilkinson out to Archer. That's a great tackle from John Davis. Flew out of the line, ball and all, just shut down the play. What a defensive read from the Featherstone forward as Wilkinson comes forward into the arms of Elijah Taylor, finished off by Gadwin Springer. That'll be the last one for Barrow, 40 metres out. 8 minutes of the game remaining. Archer hoists it high. That's a horrible slice off the outside of the boot. Goes backwards, eventually taken by Howe. What a piece of play from Arama. Howe, can he get on the outside of his man? He's looking for the offload, eventually finds it for Aikens. Aikens through the middle of the field. Good tackle in the end from Makin. The Barrow getting things terribly wrong on that last play, and Featherstone looking to take full advantage. Another try here will surely seal the game for Featherstone, leading by 20 points to 10. The quick play of the ball for Jones onto Cosser. Cosser stands in the tackle and fighting for every inch inside the Barrow 10-metre line. Here he plays it just to the right-hand side of the purse. Couple of tackles still to come from Featherstone. Short pass from Taylor onto Lockwood. Lockwood, untidy offload out the back. Picked up by Jones. Jones, shaped to give it on the inside, keeps hold of it in the end. Salvaging possession for Rovers. Still 2 tackles in the bank. Taylor, pass out to Aikens. Aikens just keeps hold of it himself and is eventually bundled to the ground there by Johnston. That'll be the last one, 15 metres out. Howe gives it to Kerala. The kick in field bounces off the leg and picked up and put down by Kerala, but the referee has awarded a knock-on. He went straight to the whistle and blew the knock-on. So whether there was one in the build-up or Kerala couldn't take the ball cleanly, a golden opportunity goes there. The scoreline remains Barrow 10, Featherstone 20. It all happened very quickly. The kick just ricocheted off a Barrow man into the path of Kerala, who tapped it forward but just couldn't get the ball down. And Barrow still a slim hope in this game. So we're into the final 6 minutes. Barrow 10, Featherstone 20. You're listening on FRTV. Featherstone looking for their 5th consecutive win. And if they hold on for victory here, we'll go 10 points clear at the top of the championship this afternoon. Looping pass comes out for Langtree. That's a knock-on against Barrow. Barrow just having a chance their arm here with time running out. Coming undone again there. Langtree just a tired hand trying to reel that pass in. Knocks it on. And this is playing into Featherstone's hands here. Who have changed their lineup a little bit. Sean Long opting to withdraw Dane Chisholm just a few moments ago. So Kerala will feed the scrum. 5 metres into Barrow territory here. Featherstone looking for that killer blow here. Another try will wrap up the 2 points. this afternoon as Aikens digs into the line, gives it to Hankinson. Hankinson shrugs away from one. The penalty comes against Barrow here. Offside from the scrum. So kick to touch here. In fact, they're going to tap it, or Craig Hall fancies putting it into touch. Does eventually put it over that far touch line. Featherstone will start their set 20 metres away from the Barrow line. Kerala marshalling the troops here in back play. Tap for Aikens. Aikens gives it on to Lockwood. Lockwood just hammers into the Barrow defensive line there, up to the 10-metre line. Tireless display from the Featherstone skipper once again. Aikens into the line, gives it to Howe. Howe stands in the tackle. Desperate play from Barrow, but the big man stands in the challenge of Johnston. Plays it a metre out. Ball comes back in field. Springer takes it from Aikens, keeps hold of it. Goes down 8 metres short now, just to the left-hand side of the post. Still tackles to play with. Jones out of dummy half. And he's wrapped up. A good tackle from Stack. Had some help from Creswell there. Short pass out the back for Aikens. Aikens comes off his left foot, bumps away from Johnston, gives it to Kerala, smuggles the ball out now to Taylor. Taylor dummies, spins, keeps hold of it. Goes down 10 metres out. This will be the last one for Featherstone. What have they got in this play? 4 minutes to go. Ball comes out to Kerala. Kerala to Hall. Hall just dinks the kick in. Taken really well there by Creswell, who's wrapped up by Luke Briscoe. But once again, Featherstone playing the percentages, forcing Barrow to come off their own try line. These are the toughest carries in the game as Toll plays it 10 metres out. Short side run there for Langtree. He's wrapped up by Hall and Cozza. Still inside their own 20, middle of the tackle count, Barrow. They're looping the long pass wide here to Eckersley. Eckersley's away. He's got space on the outside. He gives the ball to his man Ryan Shaw, but the pass wasn't where it needed to be. Takes one touch off the Barrow man into touch, and that'll certainly be the ball game for Featherstone. We've got just under 2,500 here at Craven Park to see this clash. Featherstone heading for the win. Time surely running out now for Barrow. Featherstone leading by the 10-point margin. 20 points to 10 they lead. The only points in the second half coming the way of Rovers. Tries to Luke Briscoe and Arama Howe. Aikens gives the ball out. Flat pass there from Kerala to Hankinson, who's going to be hard to stop and goes down a couple of metres short on that far left touchline. Aikens out the back now. Lockwood. Lockwood goes forward again here. He's got the Barrow defence retreating. Needs a quick play of the ball. Gets it. Jones gives it on to Springer. Springer held the ball up like a basketball. Keeps hold of it in the end. Jones digs the ball into the goal area. It's going to bounce up. The ball eventually battered over the dead ball line, but the knock-on given against the Featherstone man. I believe it was Kozu who got the first touch to that. And that will be a turnover 10 metres out. But with just 2 minutes to go in this contest, Featherstone on course for a 5th consecutive win. The second of the season over the Barrow Raiders, but have had to work a lot harder than the contest we saw in Featherstone earlier in the season. Been a real tough battle, but one that Featherstone are going to come out on the right side of, as Bullman's been put away there by Toll, and that's a great tackle, ball and all tackle there from Davies, who halts his progress. Up to the 40 now though, Wilkinson. Just trying to get up to the halfway, will go down 5 metres short. Wood, out the back now, Johnston gives it to Creswell, out to Eckersley. Eckersley comes off his right foot again, away from Hankinson, crabbing across field now. Puts the kick out wide, makeshift pass off the boot, Bullman dinks the ball over the top. Kerala's going to have to get there. Eventually, the ball's gone dead and beaten everybody over the dead ball line. Kerala, in the end, did exceptionally well. But he's taken a bit of a knock here, a little bit of a worrying sign here for Featherstone. We'll hope that he's okay to carry on. He gets back up, play the ball, or play on. It'll be a 20-metre restart. The patience Kerala showed there typifies the composure he plays with in every game he plays, diffusing the danger as the siren sounds in the background. That will bring to an end the action here at Craven Park. Featherstone Rovers having to do it tough, battling extremely hard in the first half. The scores locked at 10 points apiece at half-time. But Featherstone had to be controlled, they had to be patient and physical, and they had to show their defensive mettle in the second half. But in the end, proving too strong for Barrow with tries to Luke Briscoe and Arama Howe, bringing the only points in the second half, 10 of them going in the way of Featherstone Rovers, who do earn their 5th consecutive win and open up a 10-point advantage at the top of the Betfred Championship. Their 2nd win of the season against Barrow Raiders, who certainly won't be disappointed with their efforts. They'll be disappointed with the result, but put in a really strong performance here. They kept going from minute 1 to 80. Featherstone coming out on the right side of the scoreline. Sean Long will be happy with elements of the play, a lot more composed and patient in the second half. Dane Chisholm making a successful return to the Featherstone lineup in the halves. Played the majority of the game, setting up a try for Luke Briscoe in the second half. They had to do it the tough way, but in the end of the day, a win's a win for Featherstone, who had another 2 points to their tally. It's finished full time here at Craven Park. Barrow Raiders 10, Featherstone Rovers 20. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good afternoon. We're here with Featherstone captain James Lockwood. James, a tough opposition this afternoon, a real tough game in the middle, but ultimately coming out the right end of the scoreboard. What was your assessment of the performance?
I think it's always tough when you come up here and they play well at home, Barrow. And I think last couple of weeks I've had some good results. We've probably killed us in first half a bit, turned too much ball over. You do that, keep them fresh, and it's always going to be a tough day. And then I think we rolled the sleeves up a bit that last 30 minutes then and rolled them. If we'd probably started a game like that, it'd have been a bit bigger score, but just pleased we toughed it out, but we've got to learn from it.
Was that the key message from Sean Long at half-time, just to play with a bit more patience and composure perhaps?
Yeah, that's what we spoke about all week. Long as told us all the right stuff to do it, probably just a bit of frustration in first half. They were kicking the ball out every time, trying to slow it down, and we're probably chasing points when we don't have to, just trying to score on plays we don't really need to.
The wind certainly seemed to be a factor. It was very difficult to kick in the game. What was it like out there playing in it? Because it seemed to be causing chaos whatever happened, whichever way you tried to play it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad in general play, but obviously they were getting us off kick-offs and that ball were just holding up and hard to kick out your own end coming into this win. But yeah, it's not too bad in general play.
Having said that, you turned over quite a bit of ball, as you said, from those kick-offs, but the defensive resilience the team showed at times must have been really pleasing.
Yeah, I mean, we conceded a couple of tries, but I thought we scrambled well a couple of times and made breaks on us then, and full team got back behind ball. So I thought second half there were some good defensive efforts there, but we just got to obviously smarten up where we turn ball over sometimes.
Is that one of the most pleasing aspects, being able to tough out a win in a tough place to come when you're not necessarily at your best?
Yeah, and I think you can never really question his effort, and everyone's putting in. We just need to smarten up sometimes a bit, and obviously you can tell effort when they make breaks and everyone's chasing back and there's goal line defence, so it's just being a bit smarter and that's it really.
Dane, your first performance back in a Featherstone shirt, victorious away at Barrow. How did it feel to be back out there with the boys today?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was good to get the colours back on and playing a Fev jersey again, and it was good to get the win.
What was your assessment of the overall team performance and your own performance? A difficult task at times against a really tenacious Barrow side in challenging conditions for kickers in the back three.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, I think they played the conditions a lot better. That first half, they played going into the wind a lot better than us, and I think we had to just be a lot better with the ball that first half and get to our kicks and tire them out a little bit, because they've done really well to slow the game down. But it's definitely something to go and talk about during the week and try and fix a few things.
You certainly seemed to play a lot more composed as a team in the second half. What was the message from Sean Long at half-time?
Just run hard. Just get the ball and run hard.
So defensively, really showed up in the second half. They were causing all sorts of problems with the kick-offs in the wind, etc. But the resilience the team showed on the try line especially must have been really pleasing.
Yeah, I felt like we were parked on our try line a fair bit today. So to hold them out for that many sets on your own line, it's got to be pretty happy with that.
And for yourself personally and as a team, what will be the things you'll be looking to improve on going into the next game in a couple of weeks' time?
completions, getting the kicks, and you know, keeping them in their own half, definitely.
Sean Long, tough win on the road at Barrow. What was your assessment of your side's performance this afternoon?
I thought we started pretty slow. I thought we tried to play our way into a game rather than, you know, setting the tone and doing the graft first. You know, I thought we tried to like score on every set, every time we got the ball, and you know, there was no flow to the game. You know, Barrow did a real good job about slowing the game down, playing the conditions of the wind, the field and stuff like that. So I think they played the conditions a lot better than us. But pleased with the second half. You know, we spoke. It's not going to be a 40-point ball game. It's going to be a tough game. You know, they've had some decent results lately, especially in the first half. I think there was drawing with Batley a couple of weeks ago. They were close with Sheffield a couple of weeks last week, so we knew it was going to be a tough first half, and we didn't come out with the right mentality. So, yeah.
What was your key message to the players at half-time? Was it just to try and play with a bit more composure, play more direct in the second half?
Yeah, 100%. Earn the right to play, get back to our system of power running, and then stop trying to score on every set, every time we get the ball, and play with a bit more clarity and composure. We did it a little bit, but yeah, it's a good learning for us that if we don't turn up with the right attitude, then you can get served up sometimes.
The wind certainly seemed to play its role. The kick-offs were causing all sorts of chaos, but must have been pleased with the way your side dug in defensively on the back of that, because it gave them plenty of possession on your line.
Oh, 100%. I think that's been our DNA from word go. You know, I think we've only conceded like probably averaging 9 points a game, which wins your grand finals and wins your semi-finals. So happy with the defence, but we did probably too much of it. You know, giving the ball away at 50% is not good enough. So I need to look at myself as a coach and reassess and go forward from there.
Dan Chisholm came back into the side, first display since coming back to the club. What did you make of his performance this afternoon? And she took him off a few minutes from the end. What was the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I just thought, you know, first game back, not played for a few weeks, you know, bring him off. You know, he imposed himself quite well, and I thought we just needed to stiffen up our D, so I put ET in the halves, just because you don't need to win the game twice.
You said before the kick-off that it was certainly going to be a game in the forwards. Barrow come nice and physical. Were you pleased generally with the way your middle unit worked this afternoon?
Yeah, I was actually. The middles actually got us out of a lot of scrapes. I wanted to get them the ball a lot more, if I'm being honest. You know, I think we just went wide too early in the first half, and we're not that type of team. We're a power team, so I wanted to go through. And we did that second half. We straightened us up a little bit more. So yeah, I was pleased.
Just lastly, you get the week off now with the Challenge Cup. Will there be an opportunity now for the boys to freshen up a little bit and have a little bit of time off, or is it focusing full force ahead of the playoffs?
Yeah, full focusing again. You know, we'll still be working hard this week, and you know, they might have a couple of days off, freshen up, but no, still working on things.